rest of people. Why? Why? So you can aspire for a big house? So you can have a big car? No. أخرجت للناس. You have been taken out for the benefit of humanity. You leave a legacy behind you. That's why Allah created man. You leave a legacy behind you. You look at Uqba ibn Nafi. Uqba ibn Nafi radiallahu anhu was known as the Mufti of Egypt and the conqueror of Africa. And the narrations mention that when he reached the Atlantic, he could see no more land in front of him. He took his horse into the water, into the sea. And when the water came to the neck of his horse, Uqba radiallahu anhu said, he said, I swear by Allah, if I knew that land was on the other side of this sea, I would cross this sea and I would convey the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because these people understood their purpose in life. And if you look into the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the most difficult time in the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was what? Aisha radiallahu anha asked the Messenger of Allah, she said, O Messenger of Allah, what was the most difficult time in your life? She said, was it the battle of Uhud when 70 Sahaba were martyred? And the Prophet ﷺ said, no, it was when I went to give dawah to the people of Taif and the leaders turned against me. The leaders turned against me and then they set the urchins and the lowlifes of Taif upon me, and they began to pelt the Prophet ﷺ to the degree the narrations mention that the entire body of the Prophet ﷺ was flowing with blood until his sandals began to stick to his feet because of the blood. And when Allah saw this, Allah sent the angel Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam. And the angel Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam said to the Messenger of Allah, he said, O Messenger of Allah, if you wish, I will command the angel who controls the mountains and he will crush the people. He will crush the people of Taif. And the Prophet ﷺ declined the offer. And then what did the Messenger of Allah say? He said, maybe somebody from their progeny will embrace Islam. And then he said, Allahumma inni ashku ilayka dha'fa quwwati wa qillata hilati wa hawani ala nas ya arhamar rahimin. He said, oh Allah, I complained to you about what? Who was this? This was the Messenger of Allah, the greatest of dies. He said, oh Messenger of Allah, oh Allah, I complained to you about my own weakness and the lack of my ingenuity and my insignificance in the eyes of people. Do we ever think about dawah in this manner? We think we're going to put a couple of tables and the people should all flock towards Islam. Where's the reflection? Where's the thinking of how to give the dawah? There were men who sacrificed their lives. Tuqluk, Taimur Khan, one day he was going out, he went out hunting, and a group of Muslims went in his path where he was hunting. And he said, how these people coming into my path? And amongst those men was a man from Bukhara called Jalaluddin. And he said, bring these people to me. And they brought them to them. They bound their hands and they bound their feet. And then Tuqluk said to Sheikh Jalaluddin, he said, how dare you come in my path? And Sheikh Jalaluddin said, we're only travelers, we didn't know. And then Tuqluk said to Sheikh Jalaluddin, this is how they regarded the Muslims. He pointed to his dog. He said, tell me, are you better or is my dog better? He wanted to humiliate the Muslim. But the humbleness of the Muslim changed the landscape of history. He said, are you better or is my dog better? And Sheikh Jalaluddin looked at the dog and he said, if Allah forgives me, then I am better than your dog. But if Allah doesn't forgive me, then your dog is better than me. And his word permeated the heart of Tuqluk. And he said, untie him. He sat with him. He gave him dawah with zeal, with sincerity, until Tuqluk said, you know, I agree with everything you say, but I can't embrace this religion now because I am gonna take the throne soon. When I take the throne, come back to me. And Sheikh Jalaluddin passed away, but before he passed away, he said, when Taqlooq becomes the king, make sure that you go and give him dawah. His son's name was Rashiduddin. And when he became the king, Rashiduddin went to Taqlooq, but he couldn't get an audience with him. So what he did one day, he stood by his window and he began to give the adhan. And Taqlooq was enraged. How could anybody wake him up in the middle of the night? And he said, bring this man to me. And when they brought him to him, and he reminded him about his promise to his dad. And Taqlooq said, I swear by Allah, since that day I have taken the throne, I have been waiting for Sheikh Jalaluddin. But nobody came to me. And then Taqlooq embraced Islam. And on that day, from the windows of the palace, you heard the adhan being given. And his entire kingdom embraced Islam. Why? Because these people had a concern. They had a concern. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ said in the narration related by Ibn Majah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inculcates in this ummah secret soldiers. Secret soldiers. And they propagate this deen until the day of judgment. And this is what we need. We need people who have a concern. The importance of the dawah. And if we look into the life of the greatest man to walk on the face of this earth after the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Can you imagine Abu Bakr on the day of judgment coming in front of Allah? He took this deen. He believed in it, and this is why he was called Sadiq. And then he propagated it. Out of the 10 who were guaranteed Jannah, 6 of them embraced Islam on the hand of Abu Bakr. Imagine on the day of judgment, when these people will come and their actions will be in the scale of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Can you imagine this? Upon occasion, the Prophet ﷺ said the first person for whom the scale will be erected for on the day of judgment will be Umar ibn al-Khattab. And the Sahaba were astonished because they knew the virtues of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. And they said, what about Abu Bakr, O Messenger of Allah? And the Prophet ﷺ said, for the likes of Abu Bakr, there are no scales. For the likes of Abu Bakr, there are no scales. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst those who called to His path. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us united in dunya. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reunite us in Jannatul Firdaus. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
يدعمه شباب طامحون بنينا حقبة في الأرض ملكا يدعمه شباب طامحون شباب ذللوا سبل المعالي وما عرفوا سوى الإسلام دينا.